Hello, welcome back. Hopefully everybody enjoyed a wonderful brunch. Please join me in a round of applause to thank Chartwells for our delicious brunch and their support of this event. Thank you. Many exciting things have happened this year, not to mention the alignment of the UWL Alumni Association and the UWL Foundation. As of July 1st, we are officially one organization, the UWL Alumni and Friends Foundation. We are excited to be united and are ready to serve our alumni, friends, donors, and the UWL campus. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Chancellor Joe Gao, who will share his congratulations.
Thank you, Angie and Corey. And boy, we have two of the all-time great UWL people here. This is really a pleasure. I've seen them both get these awards. We couldn't figure out how many years ago because it was pre-pandemic. Was yours too? That 2019. Okay, so great to be back with everybody in one room and not have to be so stressed about that. And hopefully we'll be okay. It's still out there, but it seems like on campus, at least, we're doing very well as we start the year. I've been here for almost 17 years, and so I've overseen a few commencement ceremonies, and I counted it up one day. Remember, we used to do 4, sometimes 5 ceremonies in a day over in Mitchell. I'm sure there are people in the room who were at those. And then we moved down to the Lacrosse Center, and then you have fewer. But I've probably been a part of 60 or 70 commencements, and it really is the privilege of my role. And I typically end those by saying the same thing, which is alumni often say, how can I give back to the university? And I say, that's really easy. All you got to do is take what we've given you, what you learned, the knowledge, the wisdom, the relationships, go out into the world and do good things, make a positive difference. And then when people say, where did you go to school? You say, UW La Crosse. And that is working very, very well. Thank you. We have great enrollment this year. Corey would know a thing or two about that. And, so you alumni are just representing this university so very well. And it's a pleasure to give these awards today to 7 who have done it with incredible distinction. And I bet there are a few future winners in our audience here, and I know there are past, as we've said. So a great tradition. And on a personal note, my favorite thing is I get to call up the winners and let them know that that's the first contact that they get. And that is always just a wonderful conversation to hear how thrilled people are that UW La Crosse is going to acknowledge them with one of these awards. So congratulations, this year's recipients, and I know we're going to hear some outstanding remarks, and my favorite part is always hearing about those faculty and staff that shaped you when you were here, and some of them are here today, and that's pretty special. So again, congratulations, and thank you for representing UWL so well.
Wonderful. Thank you, Chancellor Gao. And now it's time for the main event, the induction of 7 distinguished UWL alumni. We will start with our brand new award, Improving the Lives of Others. After receiving care from several local human services professionals who are also UWL alums, Provost Betsy Morgan wanted to do something to recognize the service they provide the people of the La Crosse region. Betsy is with us this morning, so Betsy, please stand and be recognized. Yay, Betsy. Today we honor the first recipient of the Improving the Lives of Others Award, Isaac Hoffman. Since 2015, Isaac has been part of the La Crosse Area Family Collaborative. It is a transformative approach to human services. Instead of waiting for family challenges to reach a crisis level, the collaborative seeks to engage and stabilize families preemptively. Jason Witt, Director of La Crosse County Human Services, shares, because of Isaac's leadership, program development, and stewardship, the vision that inspired the La Crosse Area Family Collaborative's creation was fulfilled, and hundreds of families have been positively impacted. As the current Communities Programs and Prevention Supervisor at La Crosse County Human Services, Isaac, quote, has a passion to improve the lives of those most vulnerable, and that is the driving force behind his work, according to Sandy Brecky, Senior Consultant in the Office of Population Health at Bellin and Gunderson Health System. Please join me in congratulating Isaac Hoffman, class of 2007, as this year's Improving the Lives of Others Award recipient.
Thank you. It's been quite a while since I've given a speech on campus, so bear with me. I think actually the last time I did it was my Gen Ed speech class. I was working at a fancy restaurant at the time, serving tables, and the assignment was a demonstrative speech. So I thought it appropriate to give a demonstration on how to properly open and serve a glass of wine. And reflecting on today, I often wonder, if I'm the only person to get an A for opening a bottle of wine in the middle of class. I don't know. Truth is, I speak often about the work I do, and it's easy. When you're talking about helping, whether it be kids or families, you're talking about others and not yourself, and it comes natural and it's generally stress-free. Thinking about today was opposite, finding time to talk about myself and what I was going to say. It took some time, and turns out it's not so easy. But after spending a few hours thinking about trying to think about a funny angle or an engaging story, I ultimately realized that the narrative's the same, and that's gratitude and praise for others. So I'm going to thank some folks and share some gratitude. I want to thank, I'm grateful for my parents for teaching me the importance of hard work and for modeling adversity. They definitely showed me a blueprint for life, and I just had to find my passion. Grateful to my family, my wife and 2 kids. My son ditched us for soccer today, so he's not here, but I would have made the same choice if I were him. But I'm thankful and grateful that they're role models themselves, and their unconditional support definitely fills my tank every day and gives me drive. I'm grateful to La Crosse County Human Services, and thank you for weaving that into the introduction. There's folks down there that help the most vulnerable people day in, day out with no fanfare. The level of talent and compassion and humble hard work is on display, and that truly is motivating, being in that environment. Our county is truly progressive. We often are looked at around the state as leaders implementing new and progressive programs to keep kids safe and families healthy. And honestly, I wouldn't be here without that vision and that environment, and to be given a platform to do what I do. And in our community, honestly, we often hear that we have a community, resource-rich area, and we do. This community is filled with people doing good work every day, helping the lives of others, and I'm grateful and thankful to just play a small role in that. Thankful, of course, and grateful for this university. Leading up to the weekend, you don't reflect, and that's something that has been beneficial the last couple of weeks. And I encourage people to spend more time doing it. I don't do it. You're in the day, and every day is quick and fast, and you rinse and repeat. And it's been truly fulfilling to be able to reflect about my time here, and trying to pull out pieces or things that I wanted to share with you today. And ultimately, I couldn't do that. I couldn't think of a single interaction or engagement that was negative. They were all filled with support and encouragement, and my time here was truly transformative, and And that's something I share with others, and again, came from time of reflection the last couple of weeks, and spend some time doing that, because some good things came out of it for me the last few weeks. I'm thankful for sure to the amazing sociology department. Us sociologists, we don't quite have the cachet that a biologist carries, but we do some really, really great work, and I'm thankful for the great work that they do and continue to do, and I've been able to participate a little bit in my professional role with the department, and look forward to opportunities to do that in the future. And I was able to think I'm a social worker, and I don't have a social work degree. I certainly have a license. There's a path to achieve that, which was all planned out for me. But in retrospect, I think the lessons and the theories and the application that I learned in my sociology undergrad prepared me better and helped me truly understand the world, which is important and serves me every day. Lastly, thank you to Provost Betsy Morgan for initiating this award. I can absolutely say I wouldn't be out here today without her. So thank you very much. Being honored as an alumnus, it's really not something that I take lightly, and it's something that I'm truly grateful for, and I'm going to use for motivation going forward. Thank you. No, it's good. Thanks. You don't need this, do you?
And in addition, thank you, Isaac. Thank you. And in addition to recognizing a deserving alum, the Improving the Lives of Others Award offers a scholarship to a deserving student. Isaac has selected the sociology department for the inaugural scholarship. And thank you again, Betsy, for your generosity.
The Burt and Norma Altman Teacher Education Award was created in 2015 by Professor Emeritus Burt Altman and his wife Norma, both longtime supporters of teacher education. This award honors outstanding educators and the significant contributions they make to children and communities. Since that time, 12 alumni have been honored with this award. This year, we have 2 recipients of the Burt and Norma Altman Teacher Education Award. The first award goes to Kristine Fritz. On the local, state, and even national level, you mention Chris Fritz's name, and you hear amazing stories of her commitment to teaching and how she has mentored other health and physical education teachers. Chris spent much of her career in the Sheboygan School District, teaching physical education, health, and coaching. As a result of her passion and leadership, Chris has received more than 40 awards throughout her career. Most recently, she received the Hall of Fame Award at the Society of Health and Physical Educators Conference in New Orleans. Chris is a very proud 1970 alum. Her goal has always been to promote healthy, active lifestyles. Chris Fritz, we are proud of you, and congratulations on receiving the Burt and Norma Altman Teacher Education Award.
Good morning. I guess it's on. It's exciting to be back on campus. And just like in my early student days, it's a little bit scary, as evidenced by my credentials and information. It's been a long time since I was a student. I have been fortunate to have been back here because I coach track, and we came for the state meet. I also am working with WHPE, and our office is located here on campus, so I was fortunate to be engaged that way. I, fortunately, have prevailed where many of the buildings that we walked by the other day that I stayed in are no longer here. They've been replaced or remodeled. I hope I don't need replacement or remodeling. I'm grateful for my undergraduate experiences as they offered me a foundation for learning. And these things have given me great opportunities to serve, as indicated by Corey, families and children in the educational vein. And some people say, well, you don't look like it, but I've been doing it for about 50 years. Just over a year ago, I was inducted, as he indicated, into the Shape Hall of Fame. And at that time, I had to give some remarks. Well, when I was told by the Alumni Association individual after I got this award that I had to give a speech, I'm like, now what do I say? So I'm going to reiterate some of the things that I indicated there. And since most of you weren't at that event, I'm not going to bore you. The other thing, she said, oh, you can have 5 minutes. And I go, oh, in our PE association, we're used to 2 to 3, and they give you the hook and you're gone. So it won't take me too long. Number one, involvement is the key. Take every opportunity to get involved in learning. Number two, risk-taking is paramount. You must be involved with others. I worked for the WIA with alcohol and drugs, and in one of my sessions, I learned this. A leader is someone who has a compass in their head and a magnet in their heart. We also learn more by our mistakes than we do through our success. The third thing, don't forget to offer gratitude. Favorite quote of mine is from Melody Beatty. It says, gratitude turns what we have into enough and more. Turns denial into acceptance, chaos into order, confusion into clarity, and it makes sense of the past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. And those of you out there that know about physical educators, we work a lot in chaos. The last thing, number 4, collaborate and cooperate. Work together. Support others. And don't worry about who gets the success. Just get the project done. And in my case, help children and families. Corey Dorfeld has a book and a YouTube segment where she talks about the rabbit who listens. And everybody's into technology nowadays, so you might want to Google it. Corey Dorfeld, the rabbit that listens. That's what we need to be as educators, the rabbit that listens. With specific reference to teaching, I'd like to leave you with this quote from John Cotton Dana, who was a public librarian, 1856 to 1929. Yes, even older than I am. He who dares to teach must never cease to learn. In closing, I'd like to thank the university for offering me those initial learning experiences, and the Altmans for sponsoring this prestigious Alumni Award. In their honor, I say, Middanen es Winnen, which I learned during one of my international experiences. Loosely translated, it means participating is winning. And I do apologize to any of you who speak more fluent Dutch than I. Likewise, I offer gratitude to Doug Kane, who was my nominator, A.B. Kalber, and Deb Sasma, who wrote letters of recommendation on my behalf, and to all the alumni staff who have facilitated this event. In addition, I'd like to thank the students, parents, friends, colleagues, some of whom are sitting at the table, who frequently ask me, "What were you thinking?" as they've helped me to grow and serve others. It's my hope that my fellow winners and everyone in this event will have experienced something during this short weekend that they can share with others and make their lives better. Thank you, and best wishes to all.
Thank you, Chris. The second recipient of the Bert and Norma Altman Teacher Education Award is Mark Gruen. This 1992 alum started his teaching career in the Verona Sugar Creek Elementary and Middle Schools and is currently serving as the district administrator at the Johnson Creek School District. In reviewing his letters of support, we were struck by the comments from his former Royal School Board colleagues. Quote, "Mark has been able to make a 180-degree turnaround in several areas: academic offerings, district financials, school climate, opportunities for kids, and capital improvements. I witnessed firsthand his compassion for students, his strong work ethic, and his impeccable organizational skills." Another friend wrote, "Most importantly to me, Mark is a great husband and father. He spends all of his free time either volunteering as a coach for his own children's athletic teams or just spending quality time with his family." Congratulations, Mark.
Thank you very much. Yesterday, as the day unfolded, I started to realize that I was going to have to talk after Kristine, and I said, "Is there any way we can change the lineup?" I was so impressed with you, Kristine. Thank you for sharing with me. You deserve to be honored alone in this category. You're special, and you're awesome. Also, thank you to the entire alumni group. What an honor. What an honor when I got a call from the chancellor to be recognized by my alma mater. You know, I've won a few awards in different levels, and you really don't know, what to present on or what to talk about. And then when they tell you only got 5 minutes, so then you know, well, it doesn't matter. It's not going to be very long anyway. I want to congratulate the other award winners, too. To be part of this group has been fabulous. I think we'll strike up some friendships that could be listed as another wonderful addition from UWL. I want to thank Janie and Monica specifically for all of their work in preparing and to work on this. And I do a few of these award programs, so I know how much work it is and I know how much stress it is because you want it to go well for them and the pride that you put into it. So thank you. Well, I'm Mark Gruen, father of 5, superintendent of the Johnson Creek School District for 2 years. Before that, I was at Royal for 12 as the superintendent, Johnson Aliva Strum as a high school principal and superintendent for 5 years, elementary principal in Onalaska, full-time activities director at Logan. I've taught middle school, elementary school. I've been a curriculum instructor as part of that small school role, a business manager. I've driven bus. I've done a lot of custodial work. I put bleachers together, and I've cleaned up a lot of puke. One gal on staff, Stephanie, she won't volunteer for anything that I'm volunteered for because it seems like we've cleaned up puke every time. 7 times together, every time somebody pukes. We don't know what it is. It's my 32nd year in public education. It's been my life's work, and I love my job. I wouldn't have chosen anything else. But I'm humbled and honored to be recognized for doing what I love. I also love UWL. It really changed my life. The friendships, the decisions that were made here, and the relationships that I built really formed my life and my future. I'm not sure what I can tell you in the next 5 minutes. Maybe it's just a story. Probably not going to inspire you, hopefully entertain you a little bit. If I had more time, I probably could do better. But I am going to give you one message, and that is that relationships are the key to success. Has been for me. Has been my whole life. I'm not sure that you really can accomplish anything until you've developed a solid relationship. And if you want to be successful, you better be willing to put in the effort and the time to develop those relationships with the people around you, because nobody gets anything done alone. It's just a fact. Really, that's my whole message. You could do some Snapchatting and some Facebooking or check your emails now, and I continue to tell you a little bit about myself. I won't be offended. But my message is that relationships is key, and education is the great equalizer, and that's what UWL did for me. A little bit about me. I grew up very poor and rough. You know, we lived on a dairy farm. My dad still lives there. He drives a piece of junk truck that got pulled over by the cop the other day, and he was writing him citations, and he got to 8, and he said, I don't even know what to do with you. Just get to heck home with this vehicle. It's not legal. And this is what he drives every day. But he was able to give us 160 acres a couple years ago. I crashed 2 trucks, drove one off of a bridge, about a 20-foot drop. I tipped a tractor over on my leg, was trapped for 4 hours one day with the gas leaking out the gas tank. I ran my motorcycle into my brother head on and broke my leg in 2 spots. All of this was before I graduated 8th grade. In 5th grade, I stayed home from school and helped my dad fence, and I fell off the front of the wagon, and I was rolling under the front of the tire for about 100 yards before it went over the top of me. When the second tire caught me, my dad was alerted that something was wrong and stopped. Before I spit out the back, I was skinned from head to toe. I've had stitches 9 times. I've broke my hand, my leg. I've had shoulder surgery, 2 sinus surgeries, and recently cut my finger off in a wood splitter. You're probably thinking, this guy's unlucky. Or maybe I'm extremely lucky. Maybe it's the opposite. And that's how I live my life. Who could be more lucky than me, other than my wife in 1999 when we got married? Luckiest person I know. I grew up very rough, and I loved it, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. I have friends that grew up with less than me, and I didn't have anything. And it was relationships that helped me. It was the relationships that put me on the map. October 7th, 1968, 5 days after my mother's 18th birthday, she had her second child. She didn't graduate high school. High school was very uncomfortable for her. To go to school, to hear even accolades about her kids was uncomfortable for her. Think about it. You know, that was... She just felt so unsuccessful. She felt like a failure. 4 of her siblings didn't graduate high school. They never talked about college. My dad says he graduated high school. We have no proof that he really did. None of his siblings stepped a day on a university. We never talked about college when I was a kid. We didn't even get to watch college football on Saturday because we were working all day. Hell, we didn't even get ABC. I didn't know there was Monday Night Football until I got to high school and people talked about it. I grew up pretty rough. You know, I've had the luxury of being part of a transformation at the Royal School District, and that is probably why I'm standing with you here today. But I'm telling you, that was because of the relationships I built. It was a team effort, and I was the person that got signaled out for some recognition, but it was a team, and it was the relationships that I built and the people that trusted us to have us to be able to be successful. And I'm going to tell you something. We worked extremely hard to get back to average. And I mean that. They were graduating 78% of their kids. They had zero money. When I walk home from school with my children, we would make ice cubes for the athletes and put them in the freezer because we couldn't even afford an ice machine. So the transformation, it is amazing. But they were in such poor shape, there was nowhere to go but up. And when we rallied and we talked and we said we got to do this as a team, it was pretty rewarding work. It really was. I have some great fond memories of UW La Crosse. And I tell you about my upbringing because of the relationships that I had in high school directing me. Now you're going to say to me, okay, Mark, you became a teacher. Why? Well, think about my childhood. The only educated people I knew were teachers. I didn't know a doctor or a lawyer or a businessman. They weren't in my life. My parents didn't talk about college. Matter of fact, even when I graduated from college, I said to my mom, hey, maybe we could have a double party with my brother Dave in his high school graduation. And she said, nope, we're honoring his graduation. I remember when I packed up my car, 1980 Monte Carlo, loaded it with all of my belongings and left for college. I had never been to a college campus, let alone UWL. I applied to one spot. Lucky they took me. And I don't mean this as a cut on my parents, but they never came to visit me in college. They didn't know what that was. It wasn't that they didn't love me. They didn't know college. They couldn't help me. They never filled out a single financial aid form. They didn't sign them. In 5th grade, I started signing my dad's name to all of the paperwork at school. The only signature the school knew was mine, of my dad's, from 5th grade on. I was going downtown to get a pack of gum before the girls' basketball game, and I went to the bar, and my dad wrote it on a piece of paper from the barn. I was kind of embarrassed. So I just rewrote it, signed his name, and from that day forward, I signed every paper. Physical, my signature on my dad's name. Financial aid forms, college admission forms, whatever it was. It wasn't offensive to him. He knew that I was doing that. Heck, I'd get a check blank to pay for some fee at school, and he'd leave it blank, and I'd sign his name at school. That was the only signature that they knew. So you can see why UWL meant so much to me. It was a pathway. It was a gate. It was an opening for me. And I walked onto campus, found Trowbridge Hall, which doesn't exist anymore. And I walked in the room, and I met a guy named Brett Matchke, who was a sophomore. And again, I got lucky. He taught me how to study. He was from an affluent family. He introduced me to people that I didn't even know existed and opened my eyes. I was very lucky. I've been lucky my whole life. I've been able to win one of those big lotteries when I buy the tickets, but I'm hoping. I figure I'm as lucky as anybody else. I remember some professors, and I don't mean to be long. Mr. Wong, world history, did not speak English very well. I laughed at all of his jokes, and I treated him human, and he treated me even better. Mr. Pina was an intro to music class teacher. I had zero talent. I had to take it to get into the music class. First day, they put me and about 5 other kids on the side that didn't know anything, and then the people that could read music on the other. And he babied me like I was his own. He loved me. He called me his farm boy wrestler. I remember Miss Machek in the education department saying to me, Mark, if you are going to teach our kids, you've got to stop saying and fishing and hunting. You've got to be fishing and hunting and saying. I want you in front of our kids, and I don't want you role modeling that language. She treated me human. Mr. Wingate in geography and his animated teaching and the way he owned his class and the way he talked about the trips that he went on and he opened our eyes to those things was priceless. And where I probably was most comfortable was over at the field house with Rollo and Mr. Herring and Mr. McDonald and Mr. Freeman. And I wrestled a year. Realized I wasn't very good. But it was an experience. I was in the student senate a year. I ran the spring elections that spring, which was another neat experience. If you weren't going to run again, you'd get a job. I was silly enough to take it on. I had enough colleagues in the education departments to man all the posts. You know, I have great memories of UWL. Cheers was the best show on TV. Friends in Seinfeld were just getting started. We'd have intramurals on Thursday, and we'd watch a show and have a beer and go downtown and live large. I loved UWL. I loved the people here. They really changed my life. I was lucky enough to be surrounded by good people my whole life and good people at UWL that directed me. And I'm telling you, that's the key. I'm bringing it back. The relationships you form can dictate your life and put you on the right path. And remember that when you take a chance and you do something like Kristine says and you put yourself out there. I'm proud to be an educator. I'm proud of my history at UW La Crosse, and I'm proud to be an alumni. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Mark, and congratulations. Our next award is the Parker Distinguished Multicultural Alumni Award, which recognizes outstanding alumni who have contributed significantly to the improvement of multicultural understanding on the campus and in their careers. History professor emeritus Dr. James Parker initiated the award in 1997. Since that time, 47 alumni have received this most prestigious award. Unfortunately, Dr. Jim Parker and his wife, Eliza Denlinger, are unable to be with us this morning. We are honored to present the 2023 Parker Distinguished Multicultural Alumni Award to Jazzma Holland. According to Dr. Charles Martin Stanley, Dean Emeritus from UWL, I believe Jazzma is uniquely suited to receive this award due in part to her collaborative leadership style in the area of diversity, equity, and inclusivity, and her commitment to being a strong advocate for the value of multiculturalism in higher education. Jazzma is also the co-founder of Black Leaders Acquiring Collective Knowledge here in La Crosse. She was very instrumental in planning and organizing programs and activities for youth. She is willing to do new and innovative programs that will help youth in our community grow, learn, and feel inspired, notes Shondell Spivey, co-founder of Black. This double alum has worked at the YMCA, UWL, and currently serves as the Assistant Director of Student Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Programming at Edgewood College in Madison, Wisconsin. Congratulations, Jazzma.
Thank you, Corey. When I got the call from Chancellor Gao that I would be awarded the James Parker Distinguished Alumni Award, I have to admit, I was a bit in shock. And to be honest, I'm still in shock. To be nominated for such an award is a true honor, one I would have never imagined being awarded. Dr. Parker is such a trailblazer and someone who I truly admire. See, when I came to La Crosse as a freshman, I was a shy girl from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in the hopes of pursuing my degree in the medical field. Well, we see that did not happen. But that's okay, because I found something even better. I found meaning beyond the classroom. While I was in school, I got involved with organizations such as Black Student Unity and Student Senate. I had amazing experiences such as being a troop member for Awareness Through Performance, and I was a mentor to youth in the community through various pre-college programs. What I learned through these experiences is that community is more than just the people next door to you. Community to me means the people who will look out for you, the people who will support you, uplift you, and are there for you in your time of need. And that's why I love what I do, because it's not about myself or making my department look good. It's not about me at all. It's about serving others genuinely, wholeheartedly, and accepting them just as they are, while also celebrating their various cultures and heritages. And that's what my mentors from the Office of Multicultural Student Services taught me. I showed up every day, flaws and all, as myself, and they accepted me. They challenged me, and they also held me accountable, because they knew I was capable of achieving my goals. And I carry that same philosophy with me every day. I tell my students to show up for you and to go hard for you, because they deserve it. So I want to thank my mentors from the Office of Multicultural Student Services, Antoina, Thomas, Guy, Nate, Richard, and Connie. My mentors from the Office of the then Campus Climate, my self-appointed godparents, Barbara and Charles Martin Stanley, and my bestie, Shondell, for being my tribe, for being my people and my village throughout the years. I also want to thank the communications department, my advisors, and the amazing connections I made along the way. And lastly, I want to thank the Alumni Association for taking the time to recognize alumni. I think I can speak for us all when we say we don't do this work for the recognition, but it sure does feel good when it happens. Thank you.
Thank you, Jazzma. Next, we will present the RADA Distinguished Alumni Award. Professor Emeritus Ron Rada and his wife Jane created this award to honor recent to mid-career alumni who were making exceptional contributions to their professions and/or communities. The award provides another point on UWL's continuum of honors that recognize excellence at various stages of one's career. 30 alumni have been honored with this most prestigious award. Ron and Jane are with us this morning, so please stand and be recognized. Thank you. The 2023 RADA Distinguished Alumni Award is presented to Colleen McDowell. Colleen graduated from UWL in 2004 and continued her education at the University of Iowa and received her PhD in molecular physiology and biophysics in 2009. In a very short period of time, she has achieved distinction and established herself as a renowned scientist in the field of glaucoma. Her aptitude to lead and drive everyone towards excellence makes her a perfect recipient for the award, notes Tasneem Sharma, assistant professor at the Eugene and Maryland Glick Eye Institute. One of her mentors, Abbott Clark from the North Texas Eye Research Institute, wrote, "In addition to her quite distinguished academic career, Colleen also is a loving mother of 2 girls. She has been very successful in balancing her professional and academic life, and therefore serves as a great role model for graduate students, postdoctoral fellows, and junior faculty." Congratulations, Colleen.
I would like to thank the UWL Alumni Foundation as well as Ron and Jane Rada for awarding me this Rada Distinguished Alumni Award. I am honored to receive this award as my experience here at UWL truly shaped who I am professionally and personally today. I would like to particularly thank the Department of Biology and the late Dr. David Howard. Dr. Howard was my mentor while I was at UWL and was the first to introduce me to the world of academic research. I was able to work with him for over 2 years while I was here at UWL and truly got to learn what it meant to do research. From learning to form hypotheses, design experiments, present at national meetings, and publishing my very first manuscript, I was fortunate to have the guidance of such a great teacher and mentor. With Dr. Howard's support and encouragement, I then went on to graduate school at the University of Iowa, where I earned my PhD in physiology and biophysics. With the love of now academic research firmly ingrained in me, I went on to do my postdoc studies and obtain my own faculty position. I am now a professor at UW-Madison, where I lead my own research group and help to train the next generation of scientists. So thank you, UWL, for providing me an amazing foundation for my career. Thank you.
Thank you and congratulations, Colleen. We also learned yesterday that we both live in the same town as well in Oregon. So wonderful. Hopefully we'll see you around, and congratulations again. A unique component of the RADA Award is that it includes a fellowship component. Each recipient identifies a department or unit on campus, and the Foundation Scholarship Committee selects a deserving student or students to receive the award. Thanks to the generosity of Ron and Jane, the RADA McDowell Fellowship recipient for 2023-24 is Evelyn Norton. Evelyn, please stand and be recognized. Congratulations.
Our last category of awards today is the Mauricio Graff Distinguished Alumni Award. Dr. Graff wanted to recognize alumni who have achieved honor and distinction with recognition and reputations that extend well beyond the immediate environment in which they live and work. For 45 years, the Graff Distinguished Alumni Award has been presented to 80 alumni who have attended UW-La Crosse. We are honored to present the first 2023 Mauricio Graff Distinguished Alumni Award to Neil Dureski. It's not very often that 2 college friends win the same alumni award back-to-back. Last year, Jim Burkhart won the Graff Award, and this year, Neil is the recipient. Congratulations to you both. Neil is a proud veteran, an author, an excellent musician, a member of many organizations and nonprofits in our area, and a very proud UWL alum. According to Jerry Kember, former La Crosse superintendent of schools, Neil has been a community leader in many ways. Notably, his contributions and influence to provide a quality education for the children of La Crosse through his leadership and service on the school board has been extraordinary. In my opinion, what distinguishes Neil Dureski from others is his outstanding and longstanding commitment to public service, notes Joe Heim, Professor Emeritus from UWL. Thank you, Neil, for all you do for our community, and congratulations.
Thank you, Corey. And good morning to all of you. As a member of a three-generation family of lacrosse students, I'm honored to be here. And thanks to University of Colorado, Colorado Springs Physics Professor Emeritus Jim Burkhart, and also fellow second rock and roll member and lacrosse band member Jim Burkhart for nominating me. Unfortunately, Jim was in an automobile accident on the way here. And when I'm done, I'm going to Iowa to retrieve him. So also thanks to UWL Political Science Professor Emeritus Joe Heim, former La Crosse School District Superintendent Jerry Kember, and retired Assistant Adjutant General for Air Jerry Olison for endorsing my nomination. I'm grateful for the family support and support of friends that I've had over the past 8 decades. Appreciation is extended to the Alumni and Friends Foundation Selection Committee for deciding that I'm worthy of this award. My first UWL experience occurred in 1959 at a National Science Foundation summer program meant to attract high school students to college science majors. Professors Lawrence Phillips, Robert Huber, and Theodore Rovang provided us with college-level chemistry, physics, and botany experiences, including a visit to IBM's one square block computer. However, that's how old I am. However, science studies didn't become my goal. I entered La Crosse as an unmotivated undergraduate student in 1960, when tuition was a remarkable $100 a semester, including textbook rental fees. The sole economics professor at that time was Cloyce Campbell, who stressed that the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Laura Green brought fear to the hearts of her accounting students, and Bill Parks, a Bostonian business law instructor, regaled us with Kennedy family stories. That was the economics department. The political science professors at that time were Dr. Carl Wimberly of Wimberly Hall Memorialization and Dick Lindblad, who frequently ensured that we adhered to the rule of waiting 15 minutes for the professor after the bell rang. Well, maybe always. After graduating in 1964, the United States Air Force believed that my outstanding 2.26 grade point average and degrees in economics and political science qualified me to be a munitions officer. And I found myself once again taking classes in chemistry and physics. Following Air Force service, I enrolled here as a college student personnel program graduate student and interned in the placement office. Dr. Harvey Ideas, the placement director, suggested innocently enough that I take the civil service entrance exam, and as a result I spent a career as an IRS revenue officer, which is a fancy way of saying tax collector. Political science education was beneficial to my 17 years on the La Crosse Board of Education and my 4 years on the board of the Wisconsin Association of School Boards, and I had the opportunity to be president of both organizations. And that political science education was especially beneficial researching and implementing federal, state, and local law. The Maurice O. Graff Distinguished Alumni Award is special to me because Dr. Graff is the reason that I stand here today. As that unmotivated undergraduate student, social life took precedence over studies, necessitating several visits to Dr. Graff's office, where he both admonished and encouraged me and put me on a path to what I trust has been a productive life. Thanks again to the foundation, to all of you for attending, and for listening to my La Crosse experience.
Thank you and congratulations again. The final award this morning goes to Bill Bosch, our second Graff Distinguished Alumni Award recipient. Bill Bosch graduated in 2000 with a degree in finance and has spent his career helping people with their finances ever since. When asked what he liked about his 20-plus year professional career at Trust Point, he responded, "The very simple answer is the people. I have the highest amount of respect for my colleagues who always strive to do the right thing and are there for each other as we serve our clients. Bill goes on to share that to be a better leader is to be a better human, and this has been the root to my current and continued development. According to Tony Walker, fellow youth sports coach, Bill is an amazing coach, husband, father, friend, and advocate for others. His talents and skills go beyond his workplace and home, and he shares those gifts with the community and is a true servant leader. Bill, thank you for sharing your talents with your clients, neighbors, family, and friends. Congratulations.
Good morning, everybody. I'm excited to be here, yet humbled and honored to receive this award. It's kind of difficult when you follow 6 great award recipients and hearing all their remarks and thinking, gosh, I wish I would have said that or thought about saying that. This is really just a wonderful group of people, and it's just so nice to be part of this group. So I want to thank the Alumni Foundation for putting on this event. I learned some, we were with business class yesterday, and I learned some of the admittance statistics for the current student body. And I'm just so thankful that I was able to get into UWL when I did, because I wouldn't have made it now. It's an impressive group of folks. Bob Burns, I want to thank you for nominating me. I have to thank all my colleagues at TrustPoint. I've worked with so many wonderful people over the past 23 years. I actually started as an intern. And one of the students yesterday asked, well, how did you prep for getting your internship? And I'm like, well, I didn't even know I really needed one. And there aren't many in La Crosse. And I was sitting on a couch one night, and one of our friends' moms had an internship opening, and that's how I got it. I mean, it's about the extent of it. But it's an honor to represent a 110-year-old company. And I have a table of my colleagues there, and they are some of the finest individuals you'll ever meet. They care about the people, our clients, they care about our community, and they care about each other. We have a staff of about 100 people at TrustPoint, and 25% of them are UW-La Crosse graduates. That does not include the 2 interns we currently have, and we're trying to find 2 more at this time. I think that giving back is really important, and I want to talk a little about that in a second, but as it relates to TrustPoint, we're going to volunteer about 4,000 hours this year. So that averages about 40 hours a person, which is just truly remarkable, I think, and just a testament to who we are as a company and what we believe in. I want to share just a few comments about people who made a difference on my journey. At different points in my career, Ken Tandle, who was my predecessor and a mentor, told me my greatest skill set is receiving feedback and using it to improve. My 3 sisters who are sitting there today, they may say, well, that must be a new skill set because I never listened to them. My parents ran a small insurance business, which provided invaluable experiences growing up. In the 80s, my parents had their office phone forwarded to our house. If you remember this was at a point in time when there was no caller ID and call forwarding was a big deal. But they did that so that they could be available to their clients, understanding that life happens outside of the traditional business hours. This also meant that nobody knew who was calling. Could have been a friend, could have been a client. It was quite the guessing game. But we learned how to answer the phone and why that was important. I think we can all agree that it's so much better to have a person on the phone nowadays, right? My parents taught us the values of taking care of people and doing the right thing. As was mentioned, I strive to follow the motto of to be a better leader is to be a better human. Giving back to the community allows me to learn, understand, and appreciate different perspectives. I have volunteered for a variety of organizations and learned so much, especially from 2 of my friends and references, Tony Walker and Phil Jenny. Tony works in community education and advocates for all children to have opportunities. And Phil Jenny recently retired building one of the busiest wildlife rehabilitation centers in the country. And I served on his board for 14 years as he guided this organization through so much growth and change. I want to thank all my friends and family who joined us today. I know a bunch of you traveled, so thank you. Yesterday during their panel discussion, they said, well, what's your favorite memory of UW La Crosse? And I said, I was fortunate to meet and marry my best friend, Tracy. Sorry, right here at UW La Crosse. Honestly, I believe there should be a joint award because I would not be where I'm at today without Tracy. I remember a time where she said, we're going to go to the library. I wasn't actually expecting to go study, but that's where we went. So, Tracy is a pillar of support and was willing to sacrifice her career to advance mine as we made a couple career moves. I'm excited to share that Tracy is in the process of completing her doctorate in education. Tracy and I have been married for 21 years. We have 2 wonderful sons, Jackson and Henry. These guys keep us on our toes and they keep us on the go. I have 2 sisters in attendance today who both preceded me at UW La Crosse. It's a fantastic organization. Maybe one of these guys will follow as well. Tracy and I are proud alumni. We love the area and all that has provided our family. Thank you to all the folks, past and present, at UW La Crosse for making this a wonderful university. Thank you.
Thank you and congratulations. I get a little emotional from all these speeches. They were wonderful though, and I'm sure you all can agree. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in one final round of applause for Isaac Hoffman, Kristine Fritz, Mark Gruen, Jazzma Holland, Colleen McDowell, Neil Dureski, and Bill Bosch. Such an amazing group of award recipients, and your contributions to your community and society are appreciated. So again, congratulations to you all. One more round of applause. This event and many others wouldn't be possible without the support and generosity of our alumni and friends. I'd like to recognize the generous sponsors who helped make this celebration possible. Bob and Gretchen Burns, Joe Heim, Angie and Dan Kellogg, Rebecca Lee, Corey and Stacy Shoquist, and Ashton Veramali. So thank you very much to our sponsors.
We certainly want to continue to recognize the achievements of outstanding alumni for many years to come. I encourage you to nominate UWL alumni who are deserving of these awards. Nominations come from family members, faculty, coworkers, roommates, and friends. More information on how to nominate someone for an award can be found in your program or on the UWL Alumni and Friends Foundation website. The awards committee is charged with reviewing and selecting alumni from outstanding pools of candidates. Thank you for your countless hours of review and deliberation. Once again, the awards committee has made outstanding choices. Please mark your calendars for next year, Saturday, September 21st, 2024. That is the date for next year's awards program. This concludes today's ceremony on behalf of the UWL Alumni and Friends Foundation. Thank you and enjoy the weekend.